Now listen, tell your friends, tell your family, check us out. Reeta, OBJ today in Baltimore, a couple of quick observations, and I need your insight and your perspective to kind of drive this thing. One, seeing him land there in Baltimore, last time I saw him on a plane, it was a little different than this. So I'm glad that this one, was amicable.
It was a good one.
Okay, it was amicable. He wasn't the dude from like 5B wouldn't be like, hey, why won't you just get off the plane? Like, yo, man, shut up, you ugly. And he's like, sit down. I'll never get, just because of you, I'm not getting off the plane. So this was nice and cute.
This is a chartered flight, by the way, now. He wasn't even flying commercial anymore. So, he can do whatever he wants on that chartered plane. The baby can run around. Nobody's going to put him off.
Cute kid. Look at that, the cutest kid. And so the other thing is, and this is where I want you to take over. Sometimes, if you've been following a team for a long time, every team, whatever your favorite team is, in any sport, your team has an area where your team struggles. It might be a position, it might be time management in football, something, you know it, and everybody who follows your team knows it. So for the Baltimore Ravens, they really struggle with finding wide receivers. So on one hand, you say, oh, wow, they got Odell Beckham Jr. This is cool. On the other hand, if you're a Ravens follower and Ravens fan, you say, stand in line with the others. We thought we had a good receiver when XYZ was here. Why are you different? So that's my question, Reeta. Why is this different? This OBJ signing, $15 million guaranteed. Nobody else is going to give him that. It's got incentives that can kick it up to 18. Nobody else is going to do that. Why is this different?
It's not different from what the Ravens have seen from a success standpoint, ironically, right? The times that they've had success, if you look at it, they've had Derek Mason after moving out of his prime, traded for Anquan Bolden, moving out of his prime, and Steve Smith, who eventually retired after he left the Ravens, after his contract was up. So ironically, this is not different from what they're used to doing because the Ravens typically don't develop wide receivers well, historically, minus Torrey Smith and potentially what we could see with Rashad Bateman. But when the Ravens were successful, Mike, they have gotten those guys. And what happened there? You had Derek Mason, who eventually went to an AFC championship. You had Anquan Bolden, who eventually they won a Super Bowl with. And you had Steve Smith, who they went to the divisional round. Probably should have won that game against the Patriots, but they had no secondary, so they lost two touchdown leads in that game. But ultimately, this is what they do.
I remember. I remember that.
I'm sure you do.
I remember that one. I remember that one.
But ultimately, this is when they go for a guy in free agency, and I'm talking about really make a splash. It has helped this organization and the team that they've been tremendously. And I've always wondered why they haven't done that more. If you know that you're not really good with getting guys and wide receivers and they develop well here, then do what's best. And what's best is you either got to trade for a guy, you either got to get a guy in free agency, or you got to get a guy potentially that's on the June 1st cut block. But ultimately, this is what they've had in the past, and it's turned to winning success for them. I don't know why they waited so late to do this, though. That is something that I'm curious about. We heard that they tried to go after DeAndre Hopkins in a trade. We obviously know he went to Arizona instead. But to me, that's not enough. You have to go out and you have to try to find veteran leadership because clearly when you've had that, you've done well with that. So I'm glad that they finally figured that part back out again. They've reassessed that and said maybe that's what they need to do. The money and the age and the durability are all question marks. But it's a risk that they're willing to take because they know that they need wide receiver help. They've needed it for quite some time. And you can really hope that Odell is healthy enough to really help this team.
I'm wondering if there's a connection, Reeta. I'd love to get your perspective on it. I mean, you look at Odell Beckham Jr. and some of the quarterbacks that he's had in his career, he's had like the best quarterbacking situation he's been in very early in his career, when Eli was still doing his thing, and then Eli fell off. But then he goes from Eli, goes to Baker. That really wasn't working out too well. goes from Baker to Matthew Stafford. That was the best. Catching a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and then that damn grass or whatever that is, that fake turf, field turf, did him in. And I remember, to name drop here for a second, I'm watching the Super Bowl in LA at SoFi. I like to say that. I was just there.
Go ahead and start on us then, Frank. Go ahead and start on us.
So not only that, not even that. So I was there. I was standing next to the great Rodney Harrison. Rodney sees the play in real time, and I'm like, he reacted faster than anybody. He sees the play. Rodney goes, "Oh man!" I said, "What happened? What happened?" He goes, "Oh, he just tore his ACL."
Oh boy!
Did you get a report? No, I can tell. He just tore his ACL. He's out for the game, man. That's bad. He was having a great game. He was doing great. So that was the peak for him with Matthew Stafford, who had a great year in 2021. And now he's been out for a long time, goes to a situation where he could have Lamar Jackson, Rita. He could have Lamar Jackson, but he also could have Huntley as his quarterback. Do you think this signing lures Lamar back, or two separate things? Lamar's got his own thing. Odell's got his own thing.
I mean, it helps, right? I mean, Lamar clearly responded to it. He made a post on Instagram about it. You know, they were out in the club at Live, even though Lamar didn't look like he had the most fun. But that, I get it. I ain't a club person either. I'm a lounge person. Lamar doesn't get me to be the type that likes to celebrate, but Odell said, "Come on, let's celebrate. We outside, and I got some new money." So it looks like Lamar is on board, but obviously Lamar has his own things that he has to deal with, and I don't think that necessarily changes the narrative. But as of right now, Mike, nobody has put in an offer sheet. There's not a trade that we know of, because anything could happen, draft night. But there's not a trade that we know of in place for Lamar Jackson. It looks more and more like Lamar will be a Raven in 2023. And so in that regard, I think that you got to really be excited about that. And this will probably be the most athletic, well, it's not probably, it will be the most athletic dude that Odell has played with thus far if Lamar and Odell make the field together here in Baltimore.
Oh, sure.
So it will
Definitely.
and obviously if they can both stay healthy, because we both know that Lamar has had his own issues with health the last couple of years. And then we know that Odell hasn't played a whole year while he was healing with his ACL injury. If those two can stay healthy on the field, 75% of the season, I really feel like that this could be something potentially special. And I feel like this could get back to what the quote unquote Ravens way was when they were winning, which was bringing in veteran wide receiver leadership, helping the guys like a Rashad Bateman and a Devin Duvernay develop, and being able to be productive on the field and help this team reach past the one playoff win in the Lamar Jackson era that they've seen.
Wow, 1-3 in the playoffs for Lamar Jackson. So we'll see what happens next year. Now, there's some money. I mentioned this off the top. The money in this deal, the person responsible, one of the people responsible for giving Odell Beckham Jr. that contract is the general manager, Eric DeCosta. Here's DeCosta at that press conference today.
Well, I have not talked to Lamar since the signing. There's been interaction along the way. Lamar's in our plans. We love Lamar. Our feelings about Lamar have not changed one bit since the end of the season. We're hopeful still that we'll get a long-term deal done. He's the right player for this team to lead us to where we want to be. I think the locker room knows that. The organization knows that. I think the fan base knows that. So it's ongoing. But I can't think of a situation where we wouldn't think that our best team is with Lamar Jackson on the team in September.
Hey, listen. Now, remember I said the last time Odell was on a plane?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before this, it looked a little different today. The last time I heard Eric DeCosta talk about Lamar Jackson, it was a little chippy. It was a little frosty in there. Hey, PR people had to come in. Hey, no. We're not talking about that. This is a pre-draft press conference. Come on now, calm down. That was great. Eric DeCosta, if the same PR person who shut down the previous conversation was responsible for this, well, here, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, because you know what, Rita? You're not just talking to the fans. You're talking to Lamar. You're talking to Lamar's teammates. This is what they want to hear. Now, it could be total BS. I don't know, but it sounds good. That is what Eric DeCosta should be saying. What do you think of those very strong words from DeCosta?
I mean, I know that GMs lie. I know, look, people lie all the time, right? So I understand that. And as of right now, because there's not a contract, it feels like a lie. But I believe it. I truly believe that the Ravens think that Lamar is what they need and that is who they want. It makes so much sense in so many different ways. The players love him. The fans love him. He is a perfect fit for the city of Baltimore. And then to add some weapons to him, just to see him, and a new offensive coordinator, by the way, and to see what he could do. Really, the sky could be the limit here. John Harbaugh has always talked affectionately about Lamar. It is very clear that he loves Lamar. And I think that, Eric DeCosta, I believe that he does too. Now, does he get tired of the questions like what happened last week at the draft luncheon, AKA the liar's lunch is what we like to call it? Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Right? But ultimately, I believe that they want Lamar here. And I believe that they're dedicated to trying to make something work because he is best fit to be a Baltimore Raven and nothing else. Outside of the Atlanta Falcons, who have said that they're going with Desmond Ridder. And good luck to you, Atlanta Falcons, right? Lamar is fit best here in Baltimore. And I really hope that having OBJ here says, look, we're trying to extend the olive branch of getting you better weapons. And hopefully we can get back to the table of negotiating and getting a new deal done. Because he deserves the money. He deserves more than $32 million. We can all agree on that.
That's right. I agree. He does. I'm a little concerned, though, about these incentives and OBJ's contract, the reachable ones. Okay, you go. Okay, 15 million. You go ahead. All right, you want Odell. You've already paid him, and Odell knows it. You paid him more than anybody else in the league would have, and he made a reference to it today. Beckham, I'm talking about, where he said, "Hey, you made it clear that you wanted me," and part of making it clear that somebody wants you, they step up with that paper. That's in professional sports. You can say all that. Oh, we love you, and this is great. But have you made that move? Have you made the move that are you going to do something that nobody else will do? And Baltimore did. But the incentives, Rita, are scary. Mm-hmm. Hey, he's got to lead the team in receptions, got to lead the team in touchdown receptions and all this. And I think you don't necessarily have a great receiver there, but you got a pretty great tight end. Some say the best in football. And so is this like if you're in the red zone, Lamar Jackson doesn't run it in. If he runs it in, maybe Odell's like, damn, it's 3 yards, man. Just give me a little 3-yarder. I got money on the line. Or if he doesn't run it in, and he tosses it to Andrews, he's like, damn, I'm open. I got money on the line. I don't like incentives like that because especially when you get late in the season. Yeah. Then it's like you start to see ghosts. Hey, you know what? They don't want me to reach these incentives. Who's they? Who? Oh, they don't. They don't want this to happen. They don't want to pay me. They cheap. Wait a minute, man. It was just to say it was the right situation. So I don't know about those incentives. What do you think?
Look, I feel like those incentives he can probably make, though. That's the crazy thing, right? Like I get it. We know that Mark Andrews is a receiver in a sense, right? He's just a tight end in name only, but essentially he's one of the Ravens' top receivers. So it is possible that he could have more touchdowns than OBJ. But I don't think any of those incentives are out of the realm here because I think that he's going to get the ball a lot. And if he can stay healthy, he's probably going to be in position to get every single one of them. But it's funny that you mentioned that because I can remember last year, Justin Houston, the Ravens outside linebacker, had an incentive and he missed it by half a sack. Half a sack. Now, look, you just got to pay the dude. If you miss something by half a sack, I'm sorry. Or half. Give him the money. I think that's extremely unfair. Yeah. Just give him the money. Come on now. Don't play with people like that. And so things like that do happen, right? You're one touchdown or one reception away from from getting some type of incentive and then, nothing happens. But in this offense, and remember, Todd Monken is the offensive coordinator who worked with him in Cleveland. I don't feel like that this is out of the realm that he can't reach these incentives, really. So, we're just not, look, the Ravens could take whatever they can get. Odell might get the ball more than anybody else at this point because we have not had a receiver of this caliber since Steve Smith. And that's been quite some time now.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.